Hey everyone, it's Nons, and today I'm using my older camera, which I'm not really sure the settings and how it's positioned. Everything's driving me crazy, so I just said if I'm going to get this video, I'll just do it no matter how it looks. So I'm sorry if the sound's lower, because I know this one has lower sound, and some stuff I didn't like about it, but I hate how the other one just completely washed out anything. So I'm hoping I'll be somewhat happy with this. This might zoom in and out, I'm not sure, because I didn't want to mess with the settings. I just wanted to do this video because I was losing my energy was just draining. And I haven't done any anxiety or agoraphobia vlogs lately. I've done just fun challenges and stuff to, lighten the mood a little bit. Doesn't mean I wasn't going through a whole bunch, but I did want to lighten the mood a little bit. Those challenges were really fun, for me to do for my channel and with my family. I had a good time, so there'll be more to come, but I just wanted to do a more serious video, about agoraphobia. And I was diagnosed with agoraphobia 10 years ago when I had like a major breakdown, and it just stopped me from being able to work, being social, any of that stuff. And I talked about it before, and when I talked about it before, I believe I said 4 or 5 years, but definitely to the last December made it officially 10 years living with agoraphobia, which means I think I get a little tiny bit more, so I want to say I'm about 90% homebound. But it's brutal. It's brutal to my system. I thought something would change by now because I've been working hard in therapy. I've been trying different medications. Some of my train of thoughts have been different, but I've also lost a lot. So I don't know if that's what made it so hard, but it's definitely 10 years, and that's 10 years without anything. Not talking, work, it's hard to not work. It's hard to feel like I'm something when I'm not, able to work. And, it's hard if you are doing the online dating, or even just if somebody asks you, oh, where do you work? And you're just like, and before it was, I was a mother. I am a mother. I was taking care of, my child, helping her grow and everything. But now she's at the age where she's an adult, and she's out of the house, and she, there's no more of that. Of course, I'm always going to be a mother to her and always, be there for her and everything, and I still have responsibilities, but I don't have a responsibility of raising the child. So I'm completely on my own, completely living alone, and so the only responsibility I have is keeping myself safe, and that can get difficult when you're basically sitting around thinking what to do next, and hoping that something in my mind will just click or turn off, and something will make me be able to at least socialize. So yeah, 10 years is a rough thing to do. I'm not one of those people, like I said before. I don't say I have anxiety and then I go out and date or anything like that. No, I can't. It's not possible for me. Being around people I don't know make me really nervous. I think, I want to say through the 10 years I have been on altogether, I probably could count them with one hand. 5 dates, I think. So yeah, that's one hand. Been on 5 dates through the years, maybe one every 3 years or whatever. I think the last guy was about 2 years ago, and I went on like 2 dates with him. And they seem to think, like when they see me or they hear me talk, oh, you're so intelligent and you're this and that, and you need to be doing this and you need to be doing that, and that's what stops us from going any further. Because it's like, you don't need to tell me what I need to be doing with my life. I know what my life is and what I have to deal with on a daily basis. You saying words are just words that annoy me, because it's not going to happen unless I'm ready, and unless, this anxiety is under control somewhat. Anyway, so that doesn't matter. That was like 2 years ago, the last date. Haven't even communicated online with anybody. I sort of just fell into this thing where I feel like crap. I'm going to have the vibes of feeling like crap, and nobody's ever going to pick up on the side that's beautiful because all the rest of it is so dark. So why even try, I guess? I got to the point where I was busy taking care of other people that I didn't have time for anybody. There wasn't no extra time because I was taking care of other people. There was a lot of illness, you know. I didn't want to let anybody in. I just didn't have the energy. But now that I am, living on my own, and there is no, there's illness, but there's not debilitating illness, I would guess I could say. So I have more time to think, and I have more free time, and I want to spend some time with somebody. I don't know if I ever would be able to let somebody totally in, but just casual conversations and stuff would be nice. I mean, other adults would be nice. It would be nice to, you know, go out for some tea because I don't drink coffee, some tea or hot chocolate or whatever, and just have nice conversations or just talk to somebody on the phone. I miss that. I just feel where really now I could really hear the silence, like I know people are like, hear the silence, but you can't hear silence. You could hear silence when you've gone without for so long without everything. You could hear silence. It's very loud. And so the things that have been getting to me, because I don't sort of have to put on that brave front, so I do have my little breakdowns, because I can cry whenever I want to now. I can cry without thinking somebody's going to catch me crying or anything like that. And surprisingly, I start crying when it's very unexpected to myself. Like I'll start thinking, and then boom, tears, and I'm like, where are these tears coming from? But I haven't been able to allow myself to process things for so many years that it's just all getting to me. And it doesn't feel good, but I know in the end it's a good thing. The biggest thing I think is, losing my dad in the way that it went down, where I was, 2 weeks in the hospital with him, and the first week there was a lot of stuff, but there was never thinking he was going to pass away. But then there was that last week where I didn't know, and I just sit there with him almost all day long by myself. And he was in ICU, and they actually let me stay in the room as long as I wanted to, because it calmed him. Even though he was in a coma, it calmed him, my presence. Like if I wasn't there, they would literally have to, he would go in, his heart would fail, and then they would have to go in and, do all the things they do when your heart fails. And so when they had me around, even though that wasn't the rules in ICU. And I took it, and I think I was angry that I had to be there by myself all that time. And through time, I don't think I ever processed the anger. I don't know, if you're angry at people, and I didn't mention anything to anybody because I love them and I didn't want to hurt them, but I'm wondering if you forgive without even mentioning it to the people. It's like, how could you forgive? Because they weren't even aware that you were angry. I mean, how do you let anger go that you were only aware of? I guess, I don't know, that's kind of weird, but yeah, I kept a lot of stuff in because I didn't want to break anybody's heart as far as what happened in the process of it all. I didn't want them having to hear it because I had to see it. And so I kept a lot of things, and nobody really asked any specific questions, but I just didn't, I answered what I could answer, but I wasn't volunteering any information with the whole process after it was over. I never got a chance to say goodbye as far as a service or anything. There were services that other people did that I didn't go to. It wasn't here where I live. But that whole process hurt me really bad. And then it was like you just get thrown into so many other things afterwards. Like I think, yeah, I had my tonsils removed, and that was horrible. And my daughter was still struggling with her illness, which she still does, but it gets worse at times, and that was happening off and on, and there was just a lot of stuff happening. And then it was like I got my good therapist. Like, I didn't have my therapist right before my dad died. I had this other one, and then the good therapist came back, and it's like, oh, you got to switch to her again, and I was happy about that. But it was like, oh, I have to start to trust her again because she did leave, and then when I started to trust her again, she got fired, and then it was like, psh, now I'm dealing with this whole other person that I have to get used to. So I never got to process the loss of my dad in therapy. Or anything like that. I didn't want to make this video so long, but that's what I'm going through. Like, it's like I still play everything back in my mind, and I'm like, well, if I do talk it out with somebody, will it get lighter on me? But I don't know. I don't want to hurt any of my family members. You know, I don't feel like if I talk to the therapist that I have now, I don't feel like it's going to be any relief, because we aren't on that level of, you know, I don't know, it's just not there yet with feeling okay to speak everything. But I guess I started thinking about my dad a lot lately, because right when after he died, I went and got his little lamp out of his room, because his room's, you know, where I live. And I got it and put it in my room next to my bed, and you know, I've been using it for 2.5 years, and then like 2-3 weeks ago, magically the cord popped off and there was like a big flame, so it wasn't like I could repair the cord or anything. I would have to rewire the whole thing, and I don't know anything about that stuff, so I just didn't have that little lamp next to my nightstand, well, on my nightstand anymore. So if I do have nightmares or whatever, I can't just flick on a light. I gotta flick on a flashlight because the light's all the way across the room. So I just started having more anxiety and stuff, because I'm like, I really depended on that light, and that light brought me comfort because it was my dad. So it just sent me sort of spiraling with just all the thoughts of it again. And it was weird because I didn't know until today that that's why I was feeling more down than usual. I'm like, that lamp, I need that lamp, and it's just really hard not to have it. And then, like I said, being in a whole apartment by myself, it's like if I hear a noise or whatever, I gotta think, is it my cat or is it something else, because there's nobody else around me. But so that's what I've been dealing with. There's just been depression has been heavier because it's always heavier in winter, I feel like, and I feel like I've been on this one medication so long that it's just really not working for me anymore. I switched my anxiety medicine, and this anxiety medicine, it keeps me more calm when I'm in the house, but it doesn't work for me when I'm outside. Like, when I'm outside, like going grocery shopping is something that wouldn't affect me so much. I really just am so anxious and so in a rush to get it over with, because it's like I can't stay there for too long, and it is really bad. I mean, the sweats and my heart pounding and stuff. So going out is tougher. I still force myself to do it, but there's nothing that really calms me in that situation. I just gotta hurry up and get out, even though nobody's rushing me. It just feels like I gotta hurry up and get out and get home. I just wanted to mention one thing that I did learn in therapy that was a big thing for me. Like, anything I learned in therapy, usually I'm like, oh, that's not me. That's so not me. Who cares, you know? But my therapist was researching things, and I guess the book is called, I'm reading, so that's what I'm looking down. The book is called Healing from Trauma, and it's like it's a trauma healing resource book and blog. And there's something called the 7 PTSD feedback loops. That's what it's called. Okay, so this is like from a psychologist or psychiatrist that has PTSD, and she writes about it. And like I said, she came up with, or he, I don't even know because I haven't really looked at the name, came up with the 7 PTSD feedback loops. I'm going to try to read it far away because I don't want the thing up in my face, but if I mess up, I mess up. Anyway, I'm just going to read a little bit about it, just so those who are interested, if they hear it and they're like, that's me, because that's how I was. It was like, that's exactly me. maybe you could go over it with your therapist or whatever, and go through, because you have to go through like 200 questions to fit in some certain category and all this other stuff. I'm like on the 50th question with my therapist. We got like 150 more to go, but it's something I never heard of before. Never through the whole. I think I've been in therapy for 9 years now. Never heard of, and it was just like, this is me. And it was helpful to hear, even though we have to work on a lot more, but it was helpful to hear. So I'm just going to read a little tiny bit to see if anybody, understands it a little. In the book I have been working on, Trauma Healing Resource Book, which chronicles my healing journey through PTSD, I identify 7 feedback loops that act like quicksand, pulling one further into PTSD, even as one desires to find one way out. This needs further research, but feedback loops can be one reason some cases of PTSD become chronic. And of course I have chronic PTSD. Okay. This is some excerpts from the book. The definition of it. The technical definition of feedback loop is a system where outputs are fed back into the system as inputs, increasing or decreasing effects. So there's the definition. I would define a feedback loop relating to human psychology as a group of external life circumstances and internal patterns that keep reinforcing each other, making it difficult to change either the circumstance or the pattern. Feedback loops can be propelled by internal patterns of thoughts, perceptions, emotions, and behaviors. Each element stimulates the next. Negative feedback loops frequently lead to downward spirals, in which case some aspects of the situation worsen slightly every time one or several loops are completed. So, to break that down the way that I took it and the way that my therapist agrees, is that that's basically what it is. You're basically living the traumatic experience. You could live it just like you're there, and it could go on for days, and you feel everything as it's happening, and it's so simple to trigger. It's not like you have to go through something so major. You could just go, you could smell something, or you could see something, or it might be a certain type of chill. I mean, it's just instantly, and boom, you're there. So then you react like you're there, even if you're in the most peaceful situation. You react like you're not, like you're in that trauma, And people don't get that. Like I know my daughter-in-law was saying, "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that? Nothing's wrong." And it's like, yes, every sense of my being, there is something wrong. You can't see it. I could feel it. And that's what I've been going through constantly lately. And to have something that I could look at now and relate to and could work on, I could only hope for better. I'm still pushing myself for better. I'm completely and utterly miserable and lonely. I mean, this year I turned a big age, which I don't want to see, which I'm sure my age is somewhere going to be found, but I don't want to say it because it's a horrible age, and it's an age where I should have something. And if I'm still in this position where if I don't see any changes happening, if I don't feel any changes happening, I guess I want to say, if I don't feel any changes happening, I don't see myself getting better. I said a million times in this video, I lived 10 years with agoraphobia and depression and PTSD, anxiety and all that, and it has been disabling. So it's not like I'm functioning, it's disabling, and it's not a good feeling. So let me end this, because I know it's going to be like 20 minutes long, but I haven't done a talking video like this in so long, and I'm sorry if it's so long, but hey to everybody out there, all the fellow sufferers, all the people that don't suffer, maybe they have a family member that suffers and they just need to understand. I just wanted to say hey, and I'm trying to bring myself back. It's just so hard, but I really, really miss you guys, and I hope I covered everything, and if I was just all over the place, I'll get back to it, I don't know. But I will talk to you guys again, and leave me comments or send me messages or anything you want. And I guess that's it. Alright. Talk to you guys later. Bye.